What documents should you keep and what documents should you throw away? I will share 5 important tips with you in this video. Welcome to Efficiency and Organization. This is the channel where we talk about everything to do with being organized, well planned, having good systems in place to save a lot of time, a lot of energy, basically to be as efficient as possible with achieving all kinds of goals. So let's get into documents. What can we do to make sure that we don't have clutters? 5 tips, starting with number 1. Make sure you have one central place for all of your documents. The reason I tell you this is because I have seen people storing documents upstairs in the bedroom. Then they store some in the office, and then they store some in one of the drawers in the kitchen. My home used to be that way when I was growing up, when I was young, and my parents' home basically. We had stuff everywhere. So every time something was needed, it was like, wait, where was that stored? Was it in a bedroom? Was it in a kitchen? Was it here? Was it there? So what you want to do is have one central place to store paper documents. Tip 2, as much as you can, save digitally. Don't keep copies except in cases where you need to, like passports, social security cards, birth certificates, marriage certificates. Those are not things that you could just digitally save and throw out, right? You need to keep. So for those types of things, you want to keep. Otherwise, as much as you can, like your mortgage statements, your monthly statements, telephone bills and such, if you're keeping them, go ahead and store them digitally. So what I do sometimes is if I go, like, let's say to Spectrum, right? That's how my internet is, through Spectrum. When I see the bill, I just save it in my Spectrum folder on the computer. And I only save for up to 1 year. If it's like a bill that I'm gonna pay and I'm done with, I only save those for 12 months. If I need it for some reason go back beyond that, I can always go to like Spectrum and Edison and their website and retrieve old documents. But otherwise, those monthly billing statements, I don't keep for more than a year. Now, sometimes if it's not possible for me to like get a digital copy, if it's like a paper receipt, I have this super affordable scanner at home and I use that. I just scan them. So for example, we recently bought a refrigerator. Our old one was getting way too old. It was already almost 20 years old. We needed to get a new refrigerator. When I got the receipt, I scanned it and then I went ahead and saved it. I have a folder for inventory, like household inventory, and I just saved it there. It's very good to save receipts, right? Because you just never know what might happen. And so instead of having all these files of like receipts everywhere, I just scan them and then I save them on the computer. When I save on the computer, what I like to do is save on a USB drive, and I also once a week upload everything I have on the drive onto my desktop. It's important for me to do that because at least that way I have 2 places where I have stored things. I know some people store things like their files and such on their Google Drives. That's okay too. Tip number 3. Now we talked about how we're gonna have one central place where we're gonna keep all our documents, right? Whether it's at the home office or it's in one drawer, one cabinet in the house. So wherever it is that you keep them, make sure you have hanging folders or file folders that are labeled. So important. If you visit the description of this video, I'm going to have a bunch of links for you for things, a lot of these things that I bought from Amazon that I'm going to share with you. But these are very simple, non-tech savvy things you can do. Just make sure you have like file folders and then just put labels on them so you can easily retrieve them as you need them. Tip number 4, know how long to keep your documents for. I found this one website where that information was provided. I'll share the link to that site in the description of this video that you can check out. So like some things you have to keep forever. For example, marriage certificates, birth certificates. Those are things that you have to keep forever. But then other documents, like I was mentioning to you, the monthly statements that come, you don't have to keep for more than like a year. Some people don't keep beyond 6 months. The one question I get asked the most is about tax returns. A good rule of thumb for that is 7 years. I keep mine for 10 years. Beyond that, once like I have, for example, if I get the 2023 taxes or 2024 taxes done, then I go and destroy the one that was 10 years ago, which would have been 2013 or 2014. I shred those. This is very important to do because you cannot have clutters in the home. The less clutters, the better. Which brings me to tip number 5, and that has to do with once a year, set a time in your planner, in your calendar, to go through and destroy documents you don't need. So for example, for me, it's always a tradition on 1/1 of each year. So the first day of every year, I go through my papers and I destroy whatever it is I don't need, because the previous year was the previous year. We're done. It's kind of like a rebirth for me. It's like, okay, I'm done with the old and I'm in with the new. So it really helps me, and that's something you might want to do. So how about if you go in your calendar, in your planner, and pick a day when you are going to go through and take everything that's old out to be shredding them. Please make sure you subscribe to this channel and also on efficiencyandorganization.com, where a lot of awesome information is shared on all things being organized, being efficient, being productive, to be able to achieve more and succeed in life. I will catch you in the next video.